First on breakfast on BBC Wiltshire. It's one of the most famous passages in the Bible, is it not? God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Light is exactly what they'll need at Salisbury Cathedral in the future, because there are plans to put solar panels on the roof, yeah? A group's offering people the chance to buy shares to make it happen. We can find out a bit more from Alison Craig, who's the development manager at Salisbury Community Energy Limited. Alison, good morning.
Good morning.
How's this going to work then? Do tell more.
Well, it's a very exciting first launch of a community share offer that Salisbury has ever had, and we're raising £227,000 to install solar PV on 7 sites. I should stress this is subject to all planning consents and permissions. And you mentioned the cathedral. It's actually the cathedral cloisters roof, the south roof of the cloisters, subject to consents and permissions. But the cathedral are really supportive, and we do need to change to a renewable energy economy. So this is a step forward. We're lighting a candle rather than cursing the darkness.
Okay. I mean, I suppose that's good to hear for some people. The thought of solar panels on the spire might have been a tough one to swallow. The cloisters not so much, but still, it's a bold move to have them anywhere near such an iconic building, isn't it?
It is indeed, and I think it's all credit to Bishop Nick Holton, of course, and Canon Dr. Robert Titley, who's been supporting this throughout, because it's so important that we tackle climate change and move away from fossil fuel generation of our electricity and our heating. And so we have 7 sites under development. We already have solar panels up on St Martin's Primary School, and we just need the funding now from the public. You'll earn 4.5% on anything you invest. That starts from April 2020, which is a considerably better rate than the banks. It's a long-term investment, about 20-year investment, with a scope for early repayment, and you'll be putting solar PV and renewable energy into Salisbury, which we so desperately need.
So on your part, a bit of a renaissance for solar energy, because it was all the rage, wasn't it, for a while? And, you know, Bruce down the road, he covered his whole roof, you know, at number 23 with them. You couldn't see any of his house anymore. You turned the corner and someone else was copying what he'd done. And there was a kind of knock-on effect. But then, of course, with the lack of subsidies from the government as well, it kind of plateaued.
It did indeed, and it's not been helpful that the government has cut the feed-in tariff as of next March. But notably, I've noticed in the election manifestos some very interesting pledges to put solar PV on every single house and to improve the insulation of housing. And we do need to go that way because of the climate emissions from housing. It accounts for about 18% of all our climate emissions. So putting solar PV on, plus the terribly important point about insulation, is what we need to do. So we are drawing on our community, who we don't wait for government, we don't wait for the local authorities, we do it ourselves. We get it going ourselves, and we earn the 4.5% through the skills of our consultants and our partner Schools Energy Co-op, Mike Smythe particularly, who has driven all this, putting solar PV on school after school after school. They've done 62 schools nationwide, and in our package we're doing 4 educational organisations, including Wiltshire College, Bishop's Wordsworth College, St Martin's Primary School, and Amesbury Primary School. If all goes well, if all goes to plan, that's what we'll be doing.
And are there dreams to make it even bigger? I mean, it's still fairly limited, isn't it? But I know you've got to start somewhere.
To continue with the solar PV.
Yeah. How big would you want to get?
We would like to. We'd like to discuss solar projects with anyone to make it work and be financially viable. It will almost certainly need to be grant aided now that the feed-in tariff has been cut. But on a large enough scale, it could be. We do need to do these solar projects to to become more reliant on this clean, green form of energy. That's the beauty of it.
Alison Craig, thank you, Development Manager at Salisbury Community Energy Limited. And we've got the email here, alison@salisburycommunityenergy.co.uk. If you want more information, 741. Your views on it, actually. This morning, 08000 283366. What do you think of that? Interesting proposals.